Hi, everybody. I'm Dana Levinson. Welcome back to On the DL at AskTheDoctor.com. This is our health and wellness series, and we have a special guest today to end off the week. Hopefully, will help you all feel better because we are going to get some really great tips on how we can look better. I don't know about you, but ever since we started isolation, I started to feel a little bit like I looked under the weather, and I certainly need to look a little bit better. And our guest is coming to us from Miami, Florida, Dr. Leonard Hochstein. I'm sure you have heard of him if you were a fan of The Real Housewives of Miami. Himself and his wife Lisa were stars of that series, and they will be joining us. I don't know if Lisa's going to be joining us today, but her husband Dr. Hochstein will be joining us, and he is going to be telling us how we can look good as we are in week whatever of this isolation, try to plump up our skin, give us that shine. Obviously, none of us are going to a plastic surgeon anytime soon. And even if you are not going to the doctor, you may want to hear what he has to say in terms of how we can look better and feel better. He also is an owner of a med spa, so he's got some helpful tips of what we can do every single day to get us looking our very best. So we're just waiting for Dr. Hochstein to come on live, and once he does, we will start to ask him some questions about those tips and some secrets that he also gives his patients and for sure his friends, probably his beautiful wife Lisa. I was reading that vitamin C is a key factor in anything that you are putting on your face, particularly now. People are very dehydrated. Their skin is very dehydrated. So we're going to talk about hydrating your skin and how you can get the most of all of this right now. And some of the products actually that you could be buying online that also could be helping with your skin. I don't know about you, but every time I look in the mirror, I'm thinking, wow, this has been really bad. We really need to do something. And plus, I know in Florida, obviously, it's warm and it's sunny. Here in Toronto, it is not. And we are putting on a lot of sunscreen already. So for some people, they're complaining that their skin looks terrible already. We've got to keep your face protected from the sun. So Dr. Hochstein, if you are there, we are waiting for you, and you can jump on anytime and we will start talking live here. And I'm also going to plump up my volume, so in case any of you can't hear me. I'm seeing all these amazing people. I'm waving back at you. We have people from Orlando, Florida. Hello to Jonathan in Orlando. We have some people from Miami joining us today. Hopefully it's a lot warmer in Miami than it is here in Toronto. In Southern Ontario, it's been really chilly. So most of us have not been going outside a lot. And when we do, it's really for less periods than we want to be outside. So here we go, Dr. Hudson. Let's see if this is you. We can get you, if that is, let's see. Is that Dr. Hochstein? I'm going to put my glasses on and see if that is. Let's see. Dr. Hochstein has joined, and we are just waiting for you to come on. Here we go. Let's get you in here right now. We are viewing. You've sent your request. We're waiting for you. Sorry, everybody. We know that this is going to be amazing. Here we go. We know everyone's waiting patiently to hear from you, Dr. Hochstein, because you are the guy. You're going to make us all feel good and look good. There you are.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good, good.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
A pleasure.
I was babbling on, waiting for you, telling everybody that I feel so lousy every time I look in the mirror. I'm feeling worse and worse every single day. And I'm hoping you can help us, brighten our mood when we look in the mirror.
Well, I'll try my best.
Yes. So obviously people are not going to their plastic surgeons, their dermatologists, their cosmetics. They're not going to the spa. They're not doing anything like that. And they haven't in a long time. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to wear on people for sure. I know that you have been posting amazing posts on Instagram, giving everybody some really good, helpful hints and some tips how to look better and feel better since they've been in isolation. Maybe you can start with the number one thing we should all be doing every single day.
Well, as a surgeon, I'm not really qualified to do that. I think every daycare should be more addressed by a dermatologist. So I deal with surgical intervention. So those are things that most people don't really do maintenance on. That's kind of something you do every couple of years or every couple of decades, and that's it.
And what kind of surgical procedures are you best known for?
Well, I'm really known for two procedures. I'm known for breast augmentations and tummy tucks. So those two operations, or any version of that operation, account for 80% of my practice.
Someone just wrote, her name is Jen, and she wrote, "I can't wait for my surgery." So I imagine you've had this
I can't
long,
wait to
long.
do it.
What's that?
I said I can't wait to do it. It's been a
I'm
long time since
sure.
I've.
You know, people had everything canceled, right? In the last 6 weeks, everything was canceled, and obviously, breast augmentation, tummy tucks, that's elective surgery, so that's going to get canceled. So, what happened with your patient? So, you obviously had to make the call, say it's been canceled, and then what did they do while they've been in this waiting period now?
They've all been great. They all understand. I don't think anybody's taken this badly, and they understand that as soon as we are able to get back, which it looks like it's going to be this coming week, that we are going to reschedule all of the patients that have had to postpone.
That's amazing.
Haven't
So,
had a single complaint. Everybody's been very understanding, and right now we are working very hard and accommodating every patient that had to be postponed.
so you are starting to slowly start your elective surgeries this Monday. We don't have that here in Canada yet. So for people who are waiting to have their breasts done and their tummy tucks, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. What would be your advice as a physician for people who are absolutely going bananas, thinking, "Oh my, I can't wait. I have to get this done"?
Well, the only thing I'll tell them is that it will be worth the wait. Obviously, I'm a big fan of plastic surgery and everything that the field can offer to patients. And I understand that there's a lot of frustration. People, when they expect something, when they want something, it has to be delayed. There's nothing fun about that. The waiting is never the good part. But I can tell everyone that it will absolutely be worth it in the end.
So, what is a mummy makeover? Somebody here was just talking about how she turned 40 and she wants a mummy makeover. What's a mummy makeover?
Well, a mommy makeover addresses the two aspects of a woman's anatomy that are most affected by pregnancy, meaning the breast and the stomach. So typically, it can be any one of a number of operations, but it can be something like a breast lift or a breast augmentation or a combination of a lift and an augmentation. And the stomach can be a tummy tuck, it can be liposuction. So there's a few surgeries that encompass a mommy makeover, but it's essentially focused on the breast and the midsection.
Who is not a candidate for plastic surgery?
Hmm. Well, if they're not healthy,
Yeah.
somebody that is unhealthy and can't have an anesthetic is not a candidate for it. I think there's also some relative contraindications. Obviously, smoking is a big deal.
Right.
Uh, so that's something that really needs to be curtailed before having an operation. But it's mostly just able to have an anesthetic and being able to heal.
So I feel as if people, I was saying this before, people feel really lousy when they look in the mirror. There has been, I don't know if you've heard of quarantine, I think it was called quarantine 14 or quarantine 15, but it's about putting on a pound a day. So maybe or a pound, people are feeling that bulge, right? Particularly around their middle section, and women for sure, as they are post babies, right? They have that section around their tummies. Do you think people are going to want plastic surgery more after all of this? Do you think that'll be one of the things people will be thinking it's one of those fixes that they can run to or do?
I think plastic surgery is always going to be popular. I don't know if it's going to be any more or less popular after this, but we live in a world where the technology has allowed us to be able to do things that haven't been able to be done in the past, and the technology is only getting better. I think plastic surgery has been popular and will continue to be popular. But if it's going to be more so after this, I don't know about that. I think that there is going to be some time off, and in a lot of ways, it's a great opportunity to recover from
Mm-hmm.
having an elective operation. But I don't know if it's going to be any more popular than it already is.
Well, if I don't know if you're able to read some of the responses below. Are you able to see that at
I
all?
Yeah, I see them. They kind of flip it
So,
pretty quickly, so I haven't had a chance to really focus on
okay,
it.
well,
But
I can tell you, I'm reading them as I'm listening to you, and as I read this, I'm thinking, yeah, I think business is going to be great after this for you and for other plastic surgeons. One person wrote, can't wait. Someone just wrote, best in Miami. Someone called you the boob god, which I've heard before. I heard you are the boob god. And I
yeah.
thought to myself, while I was getting dressed before this, I was looking and I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I could pull them up. But, it is something that I guess I can say this out loud. We're on Instagram here. I can say this out loud. I think it's a thought that goes through the majority of women look at themselves and think maybe once, twice, maybe more than that in their lifetime. And they think to themselves, how can I make this better? I'm not doing this so great on my own. I'm exercising like crazy and I can't, how do I make this better? So if that is a thought that is going through a woman's head, what would you say would be the next healthy thought before they start considering plastic surgery?
Well, I think the first thing is to realize what it is exactly that you're unhappy with and what you'd like to see an improvement in, and then consult with a plastic surgeon. Either do it locally, or if there's a plastic surgeon that's in another area, get on the phone, send some pictures, and talk about things over the phone. So there's a lot of options that you can go and take the next step. And then once you come to an agreement, in other words, the plastic surgeon sees you, evaluates your issues, comes up with a treatment plan, and if you agree with that treatment plan, then I think it's a great place to start.
What are some of the warning signs that you have found the wrong plastic surgeon?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Some warning signs that you're speaking to the wrong plastic surgeon.
Oh, well, I think that whoever you choose should be pretty comfortable doing the operations. I'm a big fan that every result is based on experience, and there's no substitute for that. And so if you ever go to a plastic surgeon for a specific operation, you should make sure that he does a lot of that. There is, I'll give you an example as breast augmentation. I think the average plastic surgeon performs 25 breast augmentations a year. Last year, I performed over 1,500. So there's no question that that kind of experience will mean that you are more likely to get a better result with the one that has more experience in that operation. I also have some people come to me for operations that I don't do that much, and usually I would probably refer them to someone who does. I'm a big believer for myself that if I'm not doing an operation regularly, meaning at least once, twice a week, I probably shouldn't be doing that operation on somebody, no matter, even if they're an old patient of mine. They say, we trust you, we want you to do it. And I explain to them that I'm really not the guy for you. I don't want to be doing something where I'm not 100% comfortable.
So you just do the tummy tucks and the breast augmentation pretty much?
Well, those two operations account for 80% of my practice. The other 20% are things like rhinoplasty,
Yeah, so
things like facelift,
yeah,
surgery. Now, I don't include liposuction because liposuction is really part of a tummy tuck. So I kind of encompass that there. But the other 20% are the ones that I just mentioned. But people have come to me for, say, calf implants or abdomen implants. And those are things that I don't do, so I would just refer them to somebody who does. Also, I don't do reconstruction after mastectomy, but I've got great people who do that. So even though I've developed a relationship with patients and they trust me, I always recommend that they go to someone that has more experience.
So have you been practicing virtual medicine like most physicians over this period of quarantine?
Well, this is nothing new because my patients aren't just drawn from South Florida. I have patients from all over the country and all over the world.
Canada?
So, absolutely, many
Oh,
patients.
good.
This is not anything new for us. We have got a team in place that handles out-of-town consultations, and we've been doing that for a very long time. So the only thing that's changed is, whereas I would normally see 20, 25 consults and maybe 5 virtual consults on my 2 days that I see patients, now I'm doing 25 virtual consults. So there's nobody really coming in person.
So when you say you're doing virtual, so it's all consults, that it's not really virtual medicine. You're just actually consulting. It's a pre-surgical conversation,
That's right.
pretty much.
It's the first step that I talked about, where I get on the phone, I discuss a patient's desires, I look at their pictures, which they send in, we go over everything, and they listen to what I would suggest, and hopefully they're in agreement, and that's a great first step.
People are asking if you're going to open more offices across the country, meaning across the U.S. Are you?
No, no, not a chance.
No.
I don't have any time. I'm fortunately successful in that I have a great clientele in South Florida. My office is in South Florida. My entire team is in South Florida. So traveling to another area really isn't feasible for two reasons. One is I wouldn't have the time, and two, my team is crucial. So
Right,
I
of
have
course.
people that help run everything and run everything smoothly and perfectly. I would, offer the same kind of service here, would really need to take every one of those people and bring them with me. I don't believe that the people that assist are interchangeable. We
Really?
have, absolutely, we have a team. They know exactly how I like things. They know exactly how I do things, and they complement everything I do. It's not just me. I have a lot of people working with me that provide the service that I absolutely need for every one of my patients to have. It's an experience. It's not just the surgery and the result. There's a whole experience to it, and the experience has to be just as good as the results.
So that leads me to my next question. What is recovery like after breast augmentation?
Not all that bad. Breast augmentation, I don't consider a painful surgery. I think the women who've had it will probably tell you that it's not pain so much, it just feels like pressure. So I tell people when you wake up, it's going to feel like somebody's sitting on your chest. But usually 4 days later, that's gone. And so most people are pretty comfortable within just a couple of days of the operation and able to return to work.
So hypothetically, myself or somebody else could fly in from Canada and stay in Southern Florida, have this procedure, and recover there as if they're on holiday.
Most of my patients recovered home.
Wow.
So very few people actually want to stay in South Florida. So as an example, if you said breast augmentation, most people fly home the next day. So we
Really?
see, yeah, absolutely. I see all of my consultations face to face the day before. I would never do it the day of surgery. And we perform the operation. I see them for follow-up the day after. And then I'd say probably greater than 90% of them fly home dead because most people want to be comfortable. And so they want to be in a surrounding that they're familiar with.
Okay, that's amazing. That's great to know. It's not sort of that old school where you're in the hospital for 3 to 4 days and then you're recovering for
Oh, no, I don't think
things
that
like that.
plastic surgery should really ever entail a hospital stay.
Wow.
Hospitals are places for people when they're ill, when they need hospital care. I think a cosmetic surgery patient is probably the worst place they could be is anywhere near a hospital.
That
Look,
is that's
bad
great
things
advice.
happen in hospitals.
That's great advice. Can I ask you about your Medi Spa?
Sure.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your Medi Spa because people keep asking. I'm seeing on this feed here, people are asking about the Medi Spa, so I want to hear about it.
Well, the med spa offers everything I don't. So everything I do is surgical. The med spa does everything that's non-surgical and also helps post-operatively with my surgical patients. We've
Okay.
got great massage therapists there. We've got machines that help with the recovery of liposuction, of tummy tuck. So we complement each other, but everything they do, I don't, and vice versa.
So, is there a place that we could tell people? Is there a website? Is there an Instagram handle they could go to if they want to look up some?
Absolutely. Hochstein Med Spa.
Say that again.
Hochstein Med Spa.
Okay. And what would you say would be the most popular part of Med Spa? Like, what are people mostly going there for? Is it products? Is it
It's
massage?
everything,
Is it,
Botox, fillers, injectables, lasers, um, facials, massage therapy, just more than I could possibly name.
so, can I ask you what your thoughts are on non-invasive procedures? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think they're great adjunct.
You
I
do.
think they
Okay.
absolutely. I think they complement each other. One is not a substitute for the other. It's a
Okay.
complement. It should never be used as a substitute. But I think that the two go hand in hand and they help each other.
So I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about this. Obviously, Real Housewives of Miami, yourself and your wife. Obviously, a lot of people know you from that. Is that still part of your claim when you're still out in South Florida? Do people still recognize you from the show?
No, that's my wife.
Not you at all?
Not me.
Nothing? Come
No,
on. Really?
no. She's much more recognized than I am.
Really?
I'm more recognized as the surgeon, always have been. I don't think me being on the show for the little part I was on the show really made anybody think that I'm the surgeon from Real Housewives. That's all my wife. But she's still recognized in Miami and really most places we go. I'm always surprised as to how many people are fans of hers.
You know, people are gravitating more so now than ever to people, to professionals, to experts who have any kind of knowledge or recommendations on how people can look and feel better. So I was asking you that before. I know you're not a dermatologist, of course, but I was asking you those questions before because even you not being a dermatologist, you have an awareness of how people can find that maybe that strength within them to say, you know what, plastics is the route I want to go when I'm finished isolation. Maybe it's a conversation I need to have. It's the next step I need to have. So that's why I was sort of leading you towards that path about talking about plastic. So I appreciate you not being a dermatologist and talking about specific products with me. But a lot of people before the interview were sending me questions about asking you about products, like what sunscreens they should be wearing, and should they be using vitamin C on their face, and how much hydration is really considered good hydration. So I thought if you knew the answers to
I
anything.
don't.
You don't know?
No, I don't.
You're
I don't
like,
at all.
I just go in there and fix the problem. You need something lifted.
I would say that when it comes to terms like how much hydration, what moisturizers you should be using, what sunblock, you probably know more than I do.
Me?
Really? Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. If
Absolutely.
I could tell you
Absolutely.
how much research I do on all these products, it's nonstop because I'm always getting questions about,
In
what
that
I
case,
use. And
I can guarantee to you, you could probably teach me about it.
yeah, well, I hope you're wearing sunscreen in South Florida.
I do. I do.
Okay, well that's a good sign. And how have you and your family been in the last few weeks? How are you guys holding up?
Uh, I'm just extraordinarily bored. I've never gone this long without working, and I miss it. I miss being in the office. I miss doing surgery a lot.
Yes.
So I can tell you the last 24 hours has just been a big thrill for me. I'm now being given the opportunity to do what I love so much. So I just can't wait to get back on Monday. I really can.
What have
Uh,
what have you guys been doing to keep busy with kids and your wife? What have you been
Well,
doing?
for the most part, we've been staying around the house. Unfortunately, we have a swimming pool, we have a
Amazing.
gym, so I think I've become the best shape of my life. My son makes me go swimming within the pool every single day, so that's probably why my skin's a little darker than normal. And we've also done some cooking, so
I heard that.
I've
I
spent
heard
some
Lisa's
time vacation. Yeah,
cooking. Are
it's not
you
bad.
actually doing the cooking?
What's that?
Are you doing the cooking?
We're both doing the cooking. We do it together. That's the whole idea, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. What's one of the things that you've made that's fantastic? What's one of the dishes that you've learned to cook?
Chicken piccata.
Delicious.
And we've done a spicy rigatoni,
Delicious.
the tom yum goong soup, which is one of my favorites.
You made that?
Yeah. It's actually pretty easy.
Look at that.
And
A surgeon who cooks.
well, I own a couple of cookbooks and I know how to read, so we're gonna try it out.
That's amazing. And your wife is from Toronto, correct?
She is. She's Canadian. Yeah.
So she knows that end of April, beginning of May in Toronto, it's hit and miss, right? The weather, hit and miss. We've been stuck inside. It just got sunny out here a couple hours ago. It's been a horrible spring. So you've been very lucky that you've been able to enjoy the outside during this. We haven't really had that so much. We are hoping things turn a corner here. And we're hoping that isolation starts to, things start to get a little bit better and things start to pick up over the next couple of weeks. I have a feeling you're going to be busier than you've ever been. just a feeling. I could be wrong. I also feel that cosmetic dermatologists everywhere, in all over the world, are going to be busier than they have ever been when this is all over. Just a hunch, given the feedback that I've received over the last couple of weeks here at AskTheDoctor.com. That's what I think, but what do I know? That's just my feeling. Thank you very much for speaking with us today. The messages during our talk right now, the feed is going crazy. People are asking, like, what time are you reopening on Monday? How could they get in touch with you? I mean, people are going bananas knowing that you're going to be open and functioning on Monday. Someone just wrote, "I am ready." Like, this is
I'm
great.
excited too. Believe me, I'm so excited.
That's amazing. So you are up and running on Monday. So people who are
yeah, myself and my entire team, all of us can't wait to get back to work.
Amazing. I'm wishing you the best of luck, and thank you for speaking with me. It's been enlightening. I didn't know that much about breast augmentation before. I haven't.
Well, good.
No, I thought it was a whole recovery. I thought it was a big deal, and it sounds a lot less of a big deal and a whole lot of feeling better.
Well, if it's a big deal, then I think it's not being done right. And certainly can tell you, any kind of plastic surgery, if it's done properly, should not be anywhere near as big a deal as I think most people think.
Someone just asked, how many breast augmentations can one person have?
Hopefully as few as necessary. I don't think it's an operation that should be repeated. And unfortunately, some people have had bad experiences and have had a couple of operations. But I think with breast augmentation, as with any surgery, it should only be contemplated when there's a reasonable level of success expected. So although I think that people should always be able to get what they want, I think surgery isn't something you should just do routinely. There should be a good reason for it.
Okay, and then this person has asked a couple of times, our last question too, I promise. What is a price range? So what is what is reasonable? We know it's an expensive surgery. It's not going to be cheap, but what is reasonable, right? So we're not looking.
I think there's a range for typical surgery. It can be anywhere from $6,000 for a simple augmentation all the way up to $10,000 if there's a lift involved.
Okay.
So it really depends upon what has to be done. But a typical breast augmentation is around $6,000.
Okay, and then one last question, because they keep coming in. There's so many of them. How long do you think recovery should be for someone who gets a tummy tuck and their job requires them to stand most of the day?
10 days. So for the first 10 days, I expect all of my patients to stay bent over. I place my tummy tuck scars very, very low. And the reason is that's the best place to hide them. So it really has to be a partnership between myself and my patients. I will guarantee them those kinds of results, but they also have to do their part, which is stay bent over at the waist. So sleeping in a sitting position, walking around hunched over. But by day 10, they're able to straighten up. And at
walking
that point,
over, walking hunched.
Right, because I need all the tension off of the skin closure to be off.
Wow.
And so the only way they're going to get the result they want and I want is to partner with me in their recovery phase. And as long as they do that, by day 10, they're able to stand up straight. So as long as their job doesn't entail any kind of heavy lifting, meaning more than like 15 pounds, they can resume that then.
Wow. Okay. And Med Spa opens on Monday as well, or not yet?
Yes, Monday as well.
Wow. Things are really opening up in South Florida.
They really are. Yeah. Very, very happy.
That's amazing. So the best of luck to you. And I'm wishing you a wonderful season. And if I head down to Miami, which I'm hoping sooner than later, I'll come visit.
Terrific.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. Be well.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care. Thanks, everybody.